The question is that why there is contradiction in thought and action. And I am assuming that this question is coming from this motive that even when we understand something, then still it's very difficult to act accordingly. Like, why there is so difficulty to implement what you have understood. Please see that you are just familiar with whatever you have gathered from here and there in the form of books or discourses. You are just familiar with the words. Here we are precisely talking about wisdom literature, spirituality. So all the terminologies, all the concepts, all the fundamental concepts, all the core concepts, it seems that you are understanding it was just intellectually register that your faculty of brain, this memory, is doing. It is just recording it. And this is something that even AI can do. You know, if you give this prompt in ChatGPT, like for example, answer in a way Krishnamurti would have answered. It would use the phrases or the way he used to talk. Similarly, just like him. And even whatever he would give you would be exactly the same as mentioned in his books. It doesn't mean that it is understanding that it is delivering to you. You know, it has access to every data on the internet, including the wisdom literature. Still, it can never get realized because it doesn't exist. This mechanical process of listening, interpreting, and memorizing, this is something that even robots can do, but there is something more that is present in you, and that is you, for which all these wisdom literatures and all such things are written. Until and unless you realize who you really are, you will be in this conflict that intellectually I have understood, but still I'm not able to act because you're still taking yourself as a person who has the responsibility to do. You're not letting the understanding act on its own. When there is just understanding, then there is spontaneous action. Then you won't even feel that there is, there is a time gap where you have to decide whether to act or not. Understanding is impersonal, so it won't ask for permission. Yet there is nobody to ask. All motive, in all wisdom literature is to dissolve the person who begins the journey. So at first it would feel that no, I have to take it, I have to understand it like a subject, and you would be doing that. It's good. This is how it begins, but gradually you would have to understand that it's all useless if you are not in attention. If you are present, has the same person or personality for the ego who wants to accumulate these knowledge and wants to understand only intellectually and then wants to act and then wants to prove to itself that see how useful I am. I'm not that much bad as people say about ego. See, I'm very useful, I'm smart, I can be polished. But that would be just pure ego. More polished, more crafted. And that is what personality development is. Now let's look at this in with the lens of a different perception. Why we don't let the realization act is because fundamentally it's because that there is no realization at all. The realization is equal to dissolution. So don't think that you would remain as it is. This realization is different from worldly realization. Even if you understand how a rocket works, then still there will be no change in the level of consciousness. But even if you understand just slightly about your conditioning, then there will be great change. So this is the fundamental thing that there is no realization because there is no dissolution. The realization is mere intellectual, psychological, and you are just familiar with it. You are not letting the attention act as the door. The second thing is that anyways you are acting is not what you have understood, which you haven't. Let's assume that you have understood and then you are unable to act. Even when you are not acting what you have understood, you are still acting, you are still doing something. That whatever you are doing, you have faith on it, that it will give you something. It's safe or it's easy, it's comforting. There can be any reason, or it is familiar, so there is sense of security. Spontaneous action is quite dangerous for the ego because ego is nothing but collection of repetitive patterns. Hmm. The way you talk, the choice of words, every little choice, what you do for the day, except that what else is ego. You don't you see what is happening? First of all, the ego, not letting attention, listen here, because only in attention you can listen. So this ego is not stepping back even for a second so that you can listen. Listening actually begins when you're attentive. Just because you finish your session, then listening that you have understood. And for that, you don't have to put any much effort. For that, you just have to, initially, there has to be effort. There will be effort. But you will have to suppress your unnecessary thoughts that are dragging you somewhere. And then, with time, when attention, when you get the taste of attention and understanding, then you let attention take over you. So only this much initial effort is and we don't do that. We remain as because we feel that see the purpose of spirituality is to get rid of the suffering. But if the patient is not there, how will he get treated? Who will get all the people? And this thing, that carrying that problem, the difficulty on the head, this is one. The ego is, apart from all your insecurities and problems and sufferings and rest of it, apart from all this, what else is your ego? If it has no problem, if it has no expectation, both are actually the same. If you're completely okay with yourself, why will you expect anything else? Why will there be any other thought? Every other thought is expectation in itself. Fear and sense of security are two sides of duality. So whatever thought you have been, either fearful or desirous, it's the same thing. And that's why when you are here this way, when you get so many thoughts, most of it is coming from either like, "Ki, why waste time here? Let's go and do something else. Or let's eat, or let's read out, or let's watch them. Or you are too young for all this. You need some more experience. This is for older people, or this is for mature people. You are not able to understand even your subject. How would you be able to understand the core of spirituality? It's not for you. I don't push now. See, you already have very various things to do around all such thoughts. But those things are more practical. Those things are very important. All this is just abstract. So this is what the mind says. And both of you please stay till then. Otherwise, no point in staying here if you will leave in between. If you want to, then just leave now only. Otherwise, half knowledge will actually do more harm. You will feel that you have understood even half of it, but it would be nothing but nothing. Actually, either you will understand whole of it or nothing. There is no small steps at a time. You get whole of it together. If you are attentive enough, then you are already at the destination. If you are listening attentively, then no need to understand anything. Then that listening would have a different quality. Then that listening would be affirming, not wanting it to be true. You will you would hear it as if you are affirming what I'm saying. You are proving it that you are a thing but the absolute self. Only in attention. So when you are here listening, you would either get thoughts of some things that you have to do, which you don't have to. You have been trained and programmed to do things, and you have given an image that if you do that, you get pleasure and contentment. So, or you get fear. It, these things are more important. And realizing who you are is even more easier than anything that you can think that seems difficult to you. Because there are many people who are actually doing that perfectly, which you think is difficult. So if that is possible by so many people, then this it is to know yourself, to see through your conditioning. This is much easier. So don't even entertain such thoughts which are saying that you are such a user in life. How can you know spirituality? No, it's not like that. You get both desire and fear. Apart from this desire and faith, what else is the structure of ego? Please, what else? Apart from experience, what else is the ego? Hmm? And what you are desiring today and what you are afraid of today is coming from your experience in the past. The bunch of experiences, the collection of conditioning is what ego is. If the whole motive of this session is to get rid of the ego, why would the ego want to let it happen freely, smoothly? It would resist. It would not come like, see, I am ego and I am resisting. It would come in the form of desire and fear. So even after completing 1 hour of the session, I'm still not able to understand anything. This is just a thought coming from the ego. Thought is not separate from the ego. What else is ego? Your insecurities, your ambitions, your projections, you have whatever. You you see that it's a mechanism, and then it will use its skill. There's a few who are suffering from attention span issues. You can directly say that, see, this is what's supposed to happen. I have no control here. If something important is going on, then I'm supposed to be lost somewhere else. And then you will find that now you are attentive. At first you had to concentrate on what I'm saying, but now it's just here. Those who are listening from the beginning or join at least 10 minutes back, you must have heard fire crickets. If, if the cause no disturbance to you, then you are in attention. When it was happening, if you were able to listen even the part, even the half of what I was saying because of the noise, and there was no dissatisfaction, like no confusion, like what exactly is saying. The voice is not coming completely. If there is no dissatisfaction, no uneasiness, then you were in attention. In attention, actually, even if you don't know this language, then also it would help. The whole point of spirituality is to make you come into your stillness. The reason why we don't do what we know is because we are busy doing what we are. And that is what the ego wants to continue as he or she is. Conditional is comfort. So how about challenging any dullness present in your physique? Like if your posture is bad, then try challenging that and you will understand what exactly conditioning is. Body and mind both are always eagerly waiting to get conditioned. You know, those who smoke, their lungs and their body gets used to certain kind of cigarette. Now the problem actually arises when they change the brand. This much vulnerable we are. So don't think that there is intelligence of the body also. Like those who start smoking, initially they do feel that the body is actually rejecting it. There's a threat. But how long? Everybody. There's nothing in front of your decision making. It's you who decides. It's you who chooses. And you have seen the consequences of your choice. The body was just rejecting it. If you had let the body move, freely, you would have never got addicted. Various diseases actually get treated on its own, not the bigger one. When the body is moving freely and there is no ego present as the controller. At the same time, Ramana Maharshi, Sri Krishnamurti, Gautam Buddha, they got cancer. So at the level of the bodies, even if you're Buddha or criminal, it's the same thing. The basic objective of the body is to preserve itself. That it would do perfectly. The bacteria and viruses that it can fight with, it would do perfectly. Even if you are dying with cancer, it would not feel like anything like a tragedy because there would be no psychological suffering, just the physical suffering. Start seeing your own observable issues and what exactly they are giving to you. Where are you actually reaching? Start by questioning what you do throughout the day because that's what you are now. Your current coordinates are that I'm XYZ. I have my projections. And you have already planned your 5-10 years. You have already ambitions like I have to visit this place, I have to do this, I have to achieve this. This is what you are. Inquire into it. At least reduce your baggage of conditioning a little bit so that there can be a place for attention. No need to understand anything, just be attentive. And that's actually a trick. If you can be attentive, then you are already home. And that is the only importance of all the meditation methods. Just make you attentive. Inattention, you are timeless. Inattention, you are beyond time. Inattention, you are trustless. All thought is in time. How will the spontaneous act on its own when you don't have enough faith in it? That doesn't mean you don't have faith on anything else. You have faith on various other things. Now, on what you have faith, that you have to inquire. You have faith on your projections, your understanding, your interpretations. You are already sure what you are going to tomorrow. Hmm? We have no place for spontaneity in our life, and then we say why there is boredom, why our life is dull. Then you see that even with your conditioning, which is coming from the same place, which is a product of time, which is a product of flow, even even after coming from the same societies, it is still unique. That uniqueness, see who you are, see your dignity, that even you want your conditioning to be unique. Conditioning is the lowest point of your consciousness. Even when you are in the lowest point, you still have done this much dignity that you want your conditioning to be unique. Why conditioning feels so real, why so alive, why fear, greed, desires, predictions, perception, it feels real. It's like near to absolute. Because the aliveness is not its own, but actually yours. Because you are, so that's why that particular thought can feel real. Because you are, so that particular perception can feel real. Because you are, so that particular desire can feel promising. That promising, that certainty is in you. Only in absolute you can be sure. Absolute is timeless. Apart from absolute, there is flow of time, which is thought. All experiences happen in time. That subjective accumulation and recording of feelings and experiences is what we call as memory. Then that memory converts into thoughts, and then we act. Please understand that the flow is continuously moving, and you are still identified with just one phase of that flow. And based on that old, stale phase of the flow, you are acting today. The flow has moved from there, and it is now somewhere else, but you are giving the same response which you were giving yesterday. Haven't you seen the repetitive nature of the thoughts? Haven't you seen that what you were desiring yesterday is not separate from what you were desiring today, and what you were afraid of yesterday? What you were afraid yesterday is not separate, not different from what you are desiring or afraid of today. Is there any yesterday or today? Like it is the same. Why make any distinction? Why not call it the continuation of the same conditioning? How is any day new if it's nothing but just your own projection? And your own projection is not changing because your conditioning is not changing. How is any other day different from the yesterday or from the today? Wait till then. Just listen. Both of you, just listen. No need to understand anything. You already know. As I said, that inattention, you already know. Listen to what I'm saying, just as you would listen to a song. You don't capture it and some sort of confusion or concept. It might feel as if I'm actually discouraging you because where you are, concepts does have. It see what is conditioning repetition. So to get rid of certain kind of repetition, you need to develop another repetition. Okay. For the very beginners, it's fine that you guys are young, so you can directly jump. Just stay in attention and listen. Then, as I said in the beginning, then you would not be verifying. I mean, then you would not be uh, assuming anything. Then you would be affirming, verifying. You would be actually feeling as if I am just mouthing what you already know. So answer to the question that why we are unable to do what we have understood is first, we haven't understood. Second, even if you have understood, let's say there is always a choice that is present. But due to laziness or due to anything else, conditioning or something, realization is a continuous process. You, there is nothing like there will come a day, for example, 2nd of April, and then you get enlightened, and from then you are just the pure shell. The conditioning reduces with time, but what you are is not dependent on this process. Don't think and don't take this as an excuse to say, see, I'm on a journey and it would take time, as you said, that it's a continuous process. So that's why I'm not realizing it. What you are is already there, and you are not separate from it. You actually want to live in your condition because you are the absolute. Because you are so sure you are the absolute, that's why you're playing in conditions. And you know why you never get excited to know to deepen your journey? It's because you are already so sure. Otherwise, you would get mad. You feel that we are separate from the. Do you really think that you would do anything if you were separate from the truth? You know that this, even if you are not getting what I'm saying intellectually, then still what you are is already there. No? Person who doesn't know the formula of water, hmm, the scientific term and name of water. If he already has the water, why should he worry about the water? The main thing is the content, right? The main thing is the object, not the description, not the superficial peripheral. Yes. If you are in attention, then you will not even notice the silence. If you are in attention, then it would make no difference when I started speaking and when I didn't. If you are in attention, then it would make no sense, no difference to you if I start cracking a joke. It would make no sense to you if I just end the session. If you are in attention, why will you rely or why will you still hold the stick or anything else? When you are completely fit now, and what if I say that you are already fit? You are just playing this character which is like physically weak, but now taking it so seriously. And this you can only do when you're so sure about who you really are. So okay, listen, that understand it with this example that you can actually read the articles and see the video that many actors will get deep into the role, the character. You actually forget about their so-called original or developed personality. So who exactly they are? The one they were playing for a movie, or the one that they are playing their entire life. Which one exactly? Because both of it feels real. Only to those actors. Precisely only to the ego. So whatever its projections are, whatever its assumptions are, whatever its thoughts and emotions and so-called intuition is, it feels real because that aliveness, that authenticity is given by the true self itself. And you are the true self. We can give, we see now you have developed another identity known as ego, in which when you are doing self-evaluation, you only figure out certain things and then say, okay, only this much my ego does. The rest of the things which you are attached to, we won't even do self-inquiry there. So this distinction, unnecessary distinction is not advised. Ruthlessly inquire into every aspect of your mind, every aspect of your thoughts, so that you can understand the ego, so that at least the superficial layer can be removed, so that it will be easier for you to directly jump on the core. Being in the core, you will understand everything effortlessly. Because then there is assurance that even if I die today, then no problem, I'm already resolved. But when there is like blueprint that at least 99% of the conditioning you have to understand, then you get just 1 second glimpse of the true self. Only while doing this meditation, through this method. Only if your this many chakras are awakened. Most compulsory. You must be having certificate of enlightenment from our center. If this many conditions are there, then there will be fear. The biggest evidence of who you really are is this when you are doing. When you say that you don't really understand, but still you come to the session, even though it makes no sense. But these words somewhere attracts you. This is what the next question is why I get sleepy only in session. Because it's boring. Okay, let me explain from two aspects. First, the conditioning. So for conditioning, it's hell. It's a disaster what we are doing. For the self, it's boring. It's like what you are. How can I make it understand? It's your own infestation, which is duality, in which ego appears. Who you are, how can the ego can ever understand? Actually, I think that by just decoding the words, you will understand who you are. What you are is just there. It's just that there is this layer of conditioning on it. It makes no sense. Even if there is more conditioning there, even if you can be attentive, then you are home. Then you are in the core. From there, you can see the conditioning. So, from the aspect of ego, so it's a resistance, very slight, smooth resistance, and to make it be less important for you, please understand that it is something that happens with every person who begins. This resistance means that now you are actually taking it seriously, and if this is happening with everybody else, then how is your conditioning very different and unique? It is unique. The point is, what difference does it make? Like if a person from Nigeria joins the session, he or she would also experience the same. Those who have left, do you think if their concern was that no, it's too late, do you think they are going to sleep now, at least for 1 hour? They would not be able to. They know that still they're left because there is mere curiosity. When there is love, when there is what it is called in Hindi, mumuksha, eagerness to learn, eagerness, dedication, ready to put all the efforts, ready to be paid all the prices, then you realize that there is nothing to do, there is no effort to make. Sounds like a utopia. It is the world in which we live. We are fed competitiveness, ambition, race against time. That's all. Like without effort, you cannot even pass fifth class exam. How can you get the truth without doing anything? Yes. Next question. GS, please don't leave the session. Listen till then. So the question is, why the ego is scared of its own dissolution in death? Are we talking about an abstract concept here? Is ego something separate from who we are? Whose aliveness gives it weightage? Whose aliveness gives it weightage? Yeah. You know, ego can give you very reasons why it's important, why its existence is important, why its concerns are important, and why its projection of the world, projection about the world and about itself is very absolute, flawless. Because of your aliveness, we make it feel like that. So no point in debating or arguing with the ego. Right now, the sense of self that you feel is the self itself. Only if you can believe it. it to me, it is so obvious that how can somebody not notice this obvious fact? It is so obvious. How can anybody not notice this obvious fact? And you tell me, do you exist as ego? You know why the dissolution of the ego takes time? It is because this identification with the body and attachment to our projection, trust in our projection, that feels real. Yes, there is this brain, which this faculty of thinking and reasoning is present. But it's not you who is operating them. You are not never the doer. Okay. When we say that the world is our projection, like the way you are conditioned is the way you will perceive the world. You know what fundamental mistake we do here? We keep the body on this side as the observer and then observe the rest of the world. As if mind is in the brain. Mind is in the brain. Is brain and mind same? Of course not. The body too is your own projection. It is part of the projection. Your social conditioning makes you think that you are this body and you are living this as a personality. If you know you are the manifested duality and also the non-duality at the same time. Because you are non-duality, so that's why there is this duality. I already said that don't try to understand, just be attentive. Just be attentive. The one who has to understand will understand. You don't interrupt. You know, your so-called attempt to understand is actually obstacle, and you very well know that because you are the absolute self. So your freedom includes this much freedom to actually be the slave of conditioning. A, a king has so much freedom, but he doesn't have a freedom to live like a beggar. You will lose his charm, his aura, and such thing. But the absolute has that much freedom that it can actually live like a slave of conditioning. Conditioning is coming from what? Experiences. Experiences what? Change is what? Time. If nothing changes, then you won't say something. Then you won't say time has passed. If nothing happens, then you won't say time has passed. Time is actually change. Change of movements of sun, change of objects from here and there. That is time and space. All experiences happen in duality. The duality is the manifestation of the non-duality. You are non-duality itself. You are and you are not at the same time. This duality is your own manifestation. This duality is your own manifestation. And in this manifestation, see the freedom of the non-duality that it builds up an entity known as the ego, which is the conditioned self. And then this much freedom it has, this much surety it has, this much faith it has on itself that it will come back. And that's what is happening. And this is what mystical and all such things are. That you are understanding completely nothing. We're still in the session. Was the absolute has complete faith. It already knows that it was never separated from what it was. Now the absolute itself is searching for the absolute. How paradoxical it is. And this is what your freedom allows you to see, or even free to get trapped in your own cage. The thought, the emotion, the perception, the projection, the fear, the hate, the hurt, the insult, whoever you are, the most disgusting or the most horrible criminal you are, or the most sophisticated, well polished, mannered, groomed you are, makes no difference with the absolute. It's all just the manifestation of the absolute. The thought which creates fear in you, the thought which creates fear in you is actually duality. Hmm? There is somebody who is getting afraid, then there is something that is making it afraid, and then there is this experience. All experiences happen in duality because for experience there has to be experience and experienced. It's only non-duality do you realize that experiencer is the experience. Yeah, that's true. But you will feel that there is the experiencer and then there is the experience. Two different things. I'm experiencing this coffee, I'm experiencing this tea. This is duality. We are what to say. See your beauty, see your magic, that your own creation. First of all, you create an entity which is not. Agar if we remove each of your conditioning, then where do you are? Where are you? Then there will be just this I tendency. This I tendency is the non-duality. It is like the window. At, at I tendency is also duality, but very close to the non-duality. It's like a window for the non-duality to see all the duality. But that I tendency is similar in every human being. So where are you? Where is your uniqueness? The so-called uniqueness is only in the conditioning, and that is why ego is very, very, very interested in holding its conditioning, and for that it resists listening to all these sessions attentively. Because only in attention, only in attention, you are exactly where the speaker is. Imagine, visualize the conditioning like a circle. Okay, you imagine circle, somebody else would imagine square. So this is the uniqueness, but the core is actually the same. So do you really think the ego would be ever interested in going in the core, at the core? So that is why ego is afraid to go to the core. And this afraid, this fear is also just the play of non-duality. It is actually the play of non-duality. You are such a method actor that you have just lost the sense of who you really are. And you are just being completely just that person. Might be receiving bonus along with your salary for your performance. Good question, GS. Take it as an opportunity for inquiry. Please ask who wants to speak. And Gaurav, just listen. No need to understand anything. Just listen. Just listen. Just listen. No need to understand anything. Just be attentive enough and you will understand everything. So, GS, please inquire that who wants to speak. Who exactly wants to speak? Who is the one who wants to speak? Inquire into it. And who has joined the session? Will your body ever get anything from this spiritual discussion? Seriously? The body just wants food, rest, or sex. Apart from this, nothing can satisfy it. And that satisfaction lasts not too long. This spiritual discussion is also not for your intellect, because intellect is more interested in problem solving, but we are not solving anything. You don't even have any idea about what I'm saying. So of course it's not your intellect which is being entertained. You exactly is interested in what I'm saying. It's you. Now don't say I want to sleep. Say body has to sleep. Please make this distinction. Make distinction only where there it is necessary. Don't make distinction when you are doing your self-inquiry, when you are observing your thoughts or actions. Don't do partiality there. No, no, no. These actions are absolute. This is something that we are doing from generations. This is what my religion and my society taught me to do. So that's what I'm doing. This is utterly stupid. No need to create any distinction there. Do create distinctions here that the mind is always excited in something. The body has its repetitive requirements. I am more interested in something else. And it's obvious, no, that you are non-duality. You are the one who is the source of all this manifestation. Why will you be interested in just two things of your manifestation? thought, emotion, body is also your own manifestation. So why would there be interest in it if the whole of the existence is present for you to enjoy? Suffering arises when we become myopic and we actually start taking only the specific body as something absolute, and then we start revolving around it. This entire existence is nothing but your own manifestation. To be precise, this entire existence, including me, including you, it's you. Okay, wherever you are standing or sitting, all the objects that you can see, including your body, your thoughts, your so-called sense of self, your eye sense, what you are listening, so-called me, your projection. Although all this is nothing but your own manifestation. You are this. Intellectually, it makes no sense, and I don't know how you guys are listening to it. Maybe it sounds absurd, but it is. It is the fact. But still, somebody is listening. That somebody is who you really are. So don't think that ego is doing some sort of sacrifice by letting the attention be and letting understanding be. You know, what you are is already there. Ego is just a manifestation of it. Ego is just like a child of who you are. Why would the parent take the child so serious? And that too 4 months old child. We are one. To be precise, just saying one would suffice. And to be more suffice, not saying anything would suffice. If you wanted to sleep, then you would get contentment by just sleeping, but you are still restless even after sleeping. And the child would say, that means that at least you don't want that. Yes? So what to do? Should we stay awake? Try to stay awake for 2 days. And then you will see that you are never the body. You won't even realize and you will actually just fall down wherever you are. Because the body wants to process smoothly. It needs proper rest. You know why this ego is so difficult? It is actually like, first of all, it becomes the owner of the body, operator of life. Then unnecessarily, wherever there is no need, it becomes the in charge, supervisor, policeman, that I will be controlling on. If all that is just useless. Body has its limitations, like up to a certain limit, you can stay awake. Remember, things are already happening effortlessly. You are listening. My if the sound is coming to the ear to brain, from brain to the ego. And now this ego is judging itself by saying that, oh, it makes no sense to me, which means I'm so dumb. Okay, now I would resist it. By what? By either sleeping or by thinking about sleeping or by thinking about something else. It is hardly possible that I am XYZ here. How is it possible that me, who has so responsibility of this body, of this life, me, how can I not understand what this guy is saying? And how can I trust life? How can I trust spontaneous action? For example, this guy. I'm so sure he must be speaking while holding a script. I can't imagine next 1 hour without even not planning. You know, we live in spectacles where we plan for 10 minutes and then we for 1 hour. You know how busy we are about. Gaurav, your question. Gaurav is asking how to be creative. Most probably he has not understood whatever I was saying telling you. So hmm, creativity is something that is your nature itself. Duality is the expression of duality. And every object has its uniqueness, and even the construction and creation of the ego is also unique. Just imagine if an action arises spontaneously, how much creative it will be. Creativity remaining as the ego is impossible. It would be just permutation combination of all the information that is present in your conditioning and all that you have through experience. And you see by what you have done to your life, hmm, you are the absolute self, and you have forgotten it in such a way that you have almost crossed the point of no return. Like most of the population has done that. But for them, whatever we are discussing would be just nonsense. So this is creativity. Conditioning is also creativity. The image that you have about yourself, the false image that you have about yourself, even that is creativity. The ego is also creativity. But ego cannot be creative. Ego is in the duality, but ego cannot be creative. Just come back to the origin, to the source, to the non-duality, and then there is only creativity, there is only spontaneous action. At least I am sure that I am not reading from script. Like, at least this conversation is not scripted. Like, Gaurav is not in. I mean, rest of the people who are listening, we are not having a scripted discussion. So your questions are very, very scripted, repetitive, but the flow of conversation, and like at various points, I actually lose a track. And then it comes back at a very accurate position. This I realize. If I let the ego be worried here, then it will actually bring thinking as a solution, and then I would lose more track. That first realization of losing the track of what I'm saying is actually important for the conversation itself. When it comes back to the conversation, then it feels more beautiful. So it is actually happening even without my effort. It is actually flowing. All the information that the senses are bringing to you. Do you have to put any effort in that? Hmm? That is creativity. I am saying something and you are understanding. Bring all your body parts together and make them understand what I'm saying. Impossible. Right now, you're understanding all of it. This understanding is creativity. This understanding is only possible when you are at your core, which is non-duality. Only then there is creativity. This creativity is understanding. Mm, actually, forget about the ego. The question is that why I keep forgetting about the ego and all these things again and again. Please forget about it. Now tell me what makes you doubt this statement that you are already in non-duality. Like you are the point out of which everything manifests and appears and comes out. What makes you? Don't tell me, just think. Deep down, there is a assumption that I'm not worthy enough of all these things. I'm not putting much effort for all this, and that is why we feel that this realization is not for us. But can you see that this possibility? Can you see this possibility that you are something which you are already something? Now you are playing a role in which you have already actually forgotten who you are. And now you are even thinking that you are not worthy enough to go back. It's much. No writer, no thinker can think like that. And it is actually here. This is actually coming out of the non-duality. This is creativity. This is spontaneity. Where you are non-duality in your own manifestation with this duality in which this person exists. This person is believing with his thought. This thought is also the manifestation of the non-duality. Because for the thought, there has to be a thinker. For the experience, there has to be experience. See, I'm not saying that don't that you have to uh, take out some portion of your day for the spirituality. What I'm saying is, whatever you do throughout the day is actually okay because, anyways, it is just your own manifestation. Like you go to a slaughterhouse or you go to a temple, it's the same thing. It's just coming out of your manifestation, which is fact. The problem arises when you forget who you really are and you actually get into the duality. Okay, wherever you are, can you see the object that is in front of you? There is sense of familiarity that I already know. Can you even see this? Can you even see this that you are seeing this? Is there something in you which is aware of both the situations, both the experiences, where you understand something and where you don't understand something? Do you think that the one who is aware, please don't test, do you think that the one who is aware of both the situations, from when you are aware of what I'm saying and when you are actually understanding what I'm saying and you're not actually understanding what I'm saying, do you think that the one who is aware of both the situations together, do you think it's actually dependent on any of your understanding? Don't you see that this understanding, like me being the teacher, I'm teaching you something, and you being the ignorant one, don't you think this is also just a manifestation in the duality? Don't you think that the untouched point in you, like, is so, like, okay, okay, let's look at it like this. Can you just close your eyes and feel the present that you are? Okay. Think about anything that happened 10 minutes back. Most probably something that you don't want to, that will come, whatever it is. Now, see how, even though you know that it has nothing to do with what you are today, still some sort of emotions came into your mind and you felt something, some sensation. And you see that you are the one who gives flavor to all the thoughts. You are the one that actually gives life to the perception of, because if you don't give perception life to the perception, then the perception is no meaning in itself. See, there is this. Okay, let's look at it like this, right? Keep noticing your senses. Senses means senses, sensation. Senses means all the informations that they are giving. If they stop giving information, you won't even realize that that particular sense is present. So notice all the information that the sensations are giving. Also notice this rigid belief in you that even if I do this, then I won't realize. Even observe this. See how mechanical it is. That even Buddha come and start preaching you, you won't realize even then. See how mechanical and rigid and fixed it is. Start noticing and see how effortless it is. But the ego wants to claim its existence by putting effort where there it is not necessary. So it will think instead of just being. It will plan instead of just being. It would get afraid of its own projection, its own manifestation. Information is coming, thoughts are coming and going, doing something different. the you actually get nothing. The non-duality which you are gets nothing. Now again, look within that present that you, that aliveness that you are. It has not changed even after this experiment that you are. You tell me how you are not that. If it's possible for one person, it's possible for entire humanity. Even this is true. It's like really you have climbed, you have to go in the journey. Really, you do exist, right? That you are. That existence, that being, that is the I sense. That I sense is not a validation. T is just, it can never have that I sense. You know, consciousness is not just I sense, it's a different thing. If we take the definition of consciousness from AP framework, then consciousness is the relation between ego and the world, right? I sense is not this consciousness. The I amness is not this consciousness. I am is, this kind of example I will have to give. Even if you kill somebody and after 1 hour you save 100 people from dying, it would make no difference to what you are, who you are. Because what you did is just a manifestation of who you are. Society will not punish you or give you reward or appreciate. It's actually on the screen. Everything in existence, existence is actually like a party only. And you are unnecessary entity present. Okay, okay, okay. Just put your attention to what I'm saying. When you observe that the beginning is listening to all this with the expectation or with the hope that maybe she would realize something, even when she's saying that I am not carrying any image of realization, but still she is carrying, please see that if I am taking myself as this personality, then there is nothing wrong with realization. Realization is actually stepping back, not taking your identity from the personality. And then there is no problem. Don't think that then uh, there will be no fun. I know who you are. I know what who others are. Who are you. There is subjective memory already there, but it is not affecting or influencing what I have to say because it is spontaneous. At the same time, I am the non-duality, and at the same time, I'm duality. See, if we take example, like in usual relationships, so there is dependence because there is projection that this person would feel would come or make me feel complete or it would give me contentment. What if there is already joy? What if you are, what if there is more intimacy than intimacy? What if there is more source of confusion? That is only possible when you are realizing who you are. That is non-duality. In non-duality, we are one. Our this manifestation, which is duality, it is different, and that is what its beauty is. Okay, now let me tell you if it is so obvious. If you are already it, if there is no journey to reach, uh, why it's still so difficult. You you must have some like favorite things like favorite flower, favorite car, bike. What if in the world, not only this country but all in the entire world, only one model, one color, car, bike would exist, or just one texture, one shape, one color, flower existed. Hmm? You know, you won't even notice it because you are the king itself, and that non-duality is manifesting itself in the form of duality, which means non-duality is equal to duality because duality is present everywhere, which means non-duality is present everywhere around you. And non-duality is also present in your core. Your core is non-duality, your surrounding is full of duality. And that duality is coming from non-duality. At least understand this intellectually. Your core is of non-duality, and you are that non-duality. Wherever you see that is there is duality, there is a seer, and then there is an object of experience for that is the seer and the object both are seen. At first, the one who is seeing is the ego, but the one who is aware of this activity that you're doing, that you are seeing both of them. This is non-duality. One side, there is any object in front of you. First, focus on the object only. Now bring your attention back to the observer. Now realize that there is somebody who is actually doing it per force. Now realize that there is something in you that is not affected by this experiment. Like when you were deeply conditioned, then still it was unaffected, and when you are realizing something, then still it is unaffected. And please understand them when you would be realizing whole of all this, then still it would be untouched, which means all spirituality is only for the mind. What you really are is untouched and unaffected and never gonna be disturbed. But this mind, which is socially conditioned, and there is a framework that contentment can only come from consumption, and no philosophy, the so-called pop philosophy, has any mention of who you really are. So, okay, whatever, not any object. Let's do that with the thought. Any thought that is making you, for example, the thought to go to sleep. Look at the thought. Look at the one who is looking at the thought. Look at the one who is doing this activity. Now look at the one who is unaffected by. Is there any slight difference? understood anything? Realized anything? Right. Hmm. Okay, okay, okay. Can you also, you said a little, can you also look at the dissatisfaction that this person has and the expectation that she had? Can you see this? If you can, then you are already non-dual. See, I am not imposing this on you. I'm just from this side, from that side, just making you remember what you have forgot. Okay, for a moment, is it possible to forget what happened throughout the day? Anyway, it's actually almost 3 a.m. According to world, if the day ends at 12, so we have entered the next day. Can you see that nothing happened today? Within this 2 hours, nothing happened. It's almost 2 hours of session, so nothing has happened today. Is it possible? Is it possible to only take your identity from this session that I am someone who takes sessions? Can you like repeat and stay in this realization? Can you just delete what happened yesterday? Can you just delete your own future projections? We forget because you are taking it as a concept. What I'm saying is that okay, close your eyes and feel the unmoving space within you. Is there if there is any like water around you, take a sip and see if there is any change in that unmoving space. Intellectually, please don't understand what I'm saying. I don't want intellectual answers. I want answers from your space, from your awareness, from your witness. I'm talking to the non-duality. From this side, from the side of non-duality, I'm talking only to non-duality. And I don't want intellectual answers. Intellectually, intellectually, you're never going to realize. However great logically I would explain, but intellectually you would never understand. The change doesn't stay. You mean anything that you add or less, it keeps coming and going, but the unmoving one remains. Rest comes and goes. The unmoving one remains. Is this what we are seeing? Okay, okay, okay. Can you just witness this that you are not understanding what I'm saying? Can you keep a distance from Bhumi and can you see that she is unable to hold with a state of witness, which is a pure awareness, which is of joy. You see that uh, this person, which is the result of years of condition, was unable to hold this state, which is actually not a state, which is actually just origin from where this person is also arise. Can we just see the the unfortunate situation of this person. Can you stop identifying with this person at least this much? Now, who is the one who was identifying with this person? Now we can say that the entity which was identifying with this person, this condition is now free of any identification. Now look at this. Who exactly it is? Okay, you don't feel that one which remains all the time, but this I remains all the time. This is what I'm pointing at. The I in its purest form is the absolute truth. Now don't take it as an excuse that oh, so I need to clean it and to wipe it, polish it. If you just have faith on this, that I is actually the purest and absolute truth. Then you will reach the core. From there you can deal with the conditioning. Then just seeing the conditioning would suffice. Can you see the helplessness of this individual, this person, that she is confused? Can you see this confusion? Can you see this confusion that Bhumi had? Can you see this confusion? At least this much you can. Can you see this observation? Can you see this confusion that Bhumi has? Do you really think that in experience you would ever be able to experience the actual truth? All our experiences are actually recognition. You are recognizing it, which means you cannot experience something that is not present in your conditioning. If this realization is not present in your conditioning, then you are never going to realize it. So don't have hopes that no, 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 tomorrow maybe I will realize. Even if you take 1000 years, then you're not going to realize if your projections are in time, either now or never. Because the realization of the absolute truth is actually a timeless truth. It happens in timelessness, not in time, not in thought. What is time? Okay, just now, right now, you understood nothing. Nothing. Can you at least observe this? The one who is observing is the real you. That's what I was explaining. That the absolute truth, the non-duality has no concern with the realization because it's already is the non-duality now. All spirituality is just for the mind. Leave the mind for them. The situation of this person that whatever logic I would give, the stubbornness of this ego is that it won't say I have understood. It lacks faith. That doesn't mean the faith you are deficient of faith, but the thing is you are having faith on various other things. You still have projections of yes tomorrow. You are not putting effort like the speaker. See the irony, the one who has nowhere to reach is free from everything, and the one who is in hell, who is taking the walls of hell as opportunity and whatnot, and not putting all its effort in realizing. See the irony. See the irony. Then why making you guys understand? I understand actually much better. That's why I feel angry that you don't understand. Because to make you understand, I end up understanding more better, more clear. It's like it's not fair. I'm not being fair with. Okay, can you acknowledge that whatever I said, either you were interpreting, or you were thinking, or you were silent for a while, or you were observing. All this was happening, and all this was smoothly without any effort witnessed by something. The witness, the witness has no concern in realization. Why are you scared of the ego if you are standing behind the ego as the witness? The ego is witnessed, then only you can say that there is evil. If there is nobody behind the ego witnessing it, then how will you ever come to know about the ego? Can the I see itself? Okay, okay, okay. Hmm. No, made me reach this point. It was jealousy. I was jealous of these people. Like how somebody can sing very bullishly. You need jealousy. You need to understand that whatever you are experiencing in the name of happiness at this point is nothing, actually nothing in front of joy. You don't know what exactly joy is. Okay, at this point. Okay. Do you exist? It's not that much helpful to ask who am I. It's better to ask am I? Do I exist? That would give you much better answer. Start finding yourself, and you will find that there are thoughts, there are memory, there is self-image, and all that is just the result of your conditioning. All that is conditioning itself. So, but life is no, you are no, your eye sense is no. What I was saying when I said that you are present itself, I said that your eye sense is always present. So please clarify me on this that if you do what you should do throughout the day and next day you don't do anything, will there be any change on this eye sense that you feel? Eye sense, you understand? Like if you are in a room and I come and I say hello to everybody and ignore you, then you will then there will be that eye sense and it will feel hurt. That eye sense I'm talking about. Nothing mystical. We are going very practical here. So that eye sense I'm talking about. Will there be any change on the eye sense? And is whatever your conditioning was, has it has any impact on this eye sense? Oh, please let me know whether it is or not. Type. I'm asking that if you do something that you should do according to you throughout the day, and the next day you don't do anything, will there be any change in this I sense that you feel? And this I sense is not your personal. Everybody carries the same I sense. And everybody's conditioning is very, very different. So we can say that the conditioning has no impact on this I sense. And I sense is nothing mystical. There is no change in this I sense, right? So the worst that you can imagine that can happen to you, according to you, the worst that you can imagine that can happen to you, if that happens, then still there would be no change, right? And the best that you can imagine that can happen, even if that happens, then still there will be no change. Alright? And you know the best part is? The best part is that you are this essence. You are not separate from this essence. Okay, now who suffers? Because there's no change in the essence, right? This image suffers. That I sense is non-duality. Out of that I sense arises this image of ego. Ego is nothing but the image that is constructed by conditioning. Throughout the conditioning, throughout years of conditioning, that image actually feels hurt. And to make it alive, there is sensation in the body that those sensations make the any emotion feel real. Still, the I sense or the I amness is untouched, unaffected. Is it all this clear? Once again, look at it. Who is replying? I said that I will not talk to the intellectual mind. I will not talk to the ego. I will talk to the non-duality itself. The one you are. Is the non-duality replying? Is the I am replying? No, I am asking I am. Only the I am can answer about its state and nature. I want to inquire into the nature of I. Is the I am replying? Is the I am giving me I am the answers? I'm not talking to Bhumi, I'm talking to I am. AK is not talking. I am is talking to him. Non-duality is talking to non-duality. Origin is talking to origin. Please take it seriously. At least superficially take it seriously. You don't know which line can be the door. And then you would enjoy the gratitude and you don't know how it feels, how good it feels. Be jealous that you don't have that now. Only because of you, only because of your stubbornness, because of the solid belief that you don't deserve this. You know that the worst person that you know in your life, even that person deserves. So why not you? So see that all your personality and all this is nothing in front of I amness. However good or bad you are, it makes no sense to the I amness because you are the manifestation of this I amness. You are appearing out of this I amness. You are arising out of this I amness. So I amness, the sense of self, I am is asking this question to the I am that do you change? I would ask few questions. I'm asking this question to my own. Do you change? Please inquire then answer. And that inquiry is not thinking. I hope you know this. Inquiry is not thinking. Inquiry is just seeing and letting things. unfold. So, reply, is the awareness ever changing? Whatever happens? Yes. Smart. I don't. I hope it is really coming out of your realization. You know, the whatever we take ourselves to be, we also project the other person like that. So you think that I am actually pretending to be the I amness, and I'm also just like you, the personality. If possible, get your phone on charge. If possible, maybe you need to see the transition when the sun will rise. If possible, get your phone on charge. If possible. If not, then if the battery gets dead, then anyways the session will end. But it would be better if we can see the sun together. You sleep on time, you have a proper schedule every day, but for one day maybe for the sake of realization, which is already there, still, but for the sake of realization, you can do that. However long we can stress it through. So you were a kid, you were a kid, you have a different personality, you have different concerns, you have different memory, you have different perceptions. Still, the aliveness, the authenticity to all that was coming from the I amness. That's why it was feeling real. Am I saying something absurd or it is true? 5 years back, 10 years back, whatever person you were, it used to feel real. Now today it doesn't. It has no value. You actually laugh and all that. But then it used to feel real because you are present itself. Whatever passes through you becomes real. Whatever touches you becomes real. You are like Paras Pathar. You make something alive. You make something important. You make something precious. You you are present itself. You are in itself. That is I am then touches something, makes it authentic, makes it real. Please reply that 15 years back, or 10 years back, or 2 years back, your concern had different. You had different concerns. Today your concerns are different. Then it used to feel real. Today also it feels real. The only commonness is this I amness. Because I amness is always present, so whatever comes through it, at this point it feels real. Please acknowledge. It's obvious, so that's why you're asking so what or something else. No, even if you think it's so very obvious, then don't like underestimate it. This is actually a way out. Once again, please listen that this in life you pass through lots of experiences. Please listen carefully. Be serious. In life you pass through various experiences. 10 years back when you were a child, You had different concerns, you had different projections, you had different beliefs, you were a totally different person. Now, if you get memory of something, you laugh at it. This means that it has lost its essence, that aliveness, that authenticity, that realness that was felt was actually coming from your being. I can prove that today, whatever rubbish, literally, whatever rubbish goes in your mind, whatever it is, even spiritual concern, it is rubbish. Whatever rubbish goes in your mind, it feels real because of you. Because at this point, you exist. Because you are always present. Because you are the core, you are the origin. Out of you, all this appears. Out of all experiences appear. So at any point in time, in duality, whatever comes here goes, whatever comes and goes, whatever happens, there is X. Entire family of X dies. Next day, he gets 700 crore from me. Nothing would change in the IMS. When his entire family died, he felt sad. What was giving authenticity to that particular situation? It was his IMS. The next day, he got 700 crore. What was giving authenticity, realness, aliveness to that particular situation? Your IMS. Situations pass, whatever will come next, then it will start feeling real. It's not the situation, it's you. So I'm asking you that when you were a child, whatever your personality was, whatever used to go in your mind, whatever used to run in your mind in spiral, in loop, whatever, like Spider-Man or the Batman, this kind of concern, whatever. To say that this is my stand on it, you used to start the sentence by calling by saying I am. Right? I am you still use today. Because there is this I amness, that's why all your garbage, all your trash feels like diamond. That's why I said you are like Paras Patthar. Whatever you touch becomes precious. Have you understood? Have you understood? Why hesitant to say yes, which means you haven't. No, the yes would come with such joy. You know, you have just missed the opportunity. Just now. Don't say I need to read certain scriptures, I need this many times. You are not serious enough. You are not even taking spirituality as serious as fever, the common fever. Even fever grabs our attention. We are not attentive here. You so wonderful example, so horrible example that X is XYZ. Today, his entire family killed by terrorists. These situations feel real because of his own aliveness. Next day, he gets 7,000 crore. Not funny. This now today, whatever he is experiencing, at this point, he is experiencing it. So now it is his reality. What is giving life to what he is experiencing? It is his kindness. His kindness is always now. When you were 5 years old, still you had some thoughts, something you used to do, some experiences you had. All that was starting from I am. When you were 15 years old, I am. When you would be 55 years old, I am. And then certain experiences. You know, When you would reach the age of 55, you would actually laugh at yourself that certain things were your concern when you were XYZ age old, XYZ years old. You know why this comparison? Because when you would be 55, then your IMS would give aliveness to whatever you would be experiencing at the age of 55. 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. Let's say it's possible for you just for you to live, let's say 1000 years. So when you would be in your 400, then too you would be taking those experiences which would be in the now, in the moment, in the present as real. That authenticity to that aliveness that every thought gets is from your own center. Now please acknowledge. You know, once I heard AP saying that you need to pour your energy, you need to put your energy, like lots of effort to make somebody realize. It's such a difficult task. And now I understand why he gets irritated when somebody asks some silly question in like old videos. Like if you had watched that Asli Samaran में स्वयं तक पहुंचना, in that video, he has said that like somebody was saying, okay, but what would happen if I go outside? How would I be dealing with the world? He said, if you have understood here enough, then the world will change for you. You guys are so sure, so stubborn that your self-image and the image that you have of the world, you are so sure that it is absolute and whatever you do in the name of spirituality, it won't change. You don't even exist apart from conditioning. Who gave you this right to think this much? Why can't you just have faith? At least have blind faith. Okay, again I'm asking, the I amness that you are feeling at this point, is it something that you have gained in this age only? It was absent till now. Like, can you just like imagine living at the age of 8 or 9 without the feeling of I am? No, impossible. Please acknowledge, be with me. If you are not syncing with the speaker, SYNCING, you're not syncing, SINKANG. If you are not going hand in hand, if you are not moving together, then you are not understanding. Please answer that the I amness that you are feeling at this point, is it any different from the I amness that you used to feel when you were 5 years old? Has it increased? Has it decreased? What do you think? Like, let's analyze. You guys are more into thinking, so let's analyze. Till now, it has not increased. Till now, it has not increased. Any chance that it will increase in future? Maybe not. Maybe not. Only you can tell. See, I am is asking this question to I am. I am knows about itself. I'm not asking the opinion of the ego. I'm not asking the manifested duality about the non-duality. I'm directly asking the non-duality. And I you'll understand whether it's coming from duality or non-duality. I'm not asking the conditioning that it has increased or decreased. I'm asking the ego, the I sense that I exist. Yes, I exist. I exist. Yes, I exist. I do exist. I'm asking about this. The I sense, has it changed? You can say that nowadays I'm more observing or looking at the I am. When I was child, when I was busy, when I was playing, I won't notice this I am. But still the I am was present. I want this toy, I don't want that toy, I don't want to study, I want to watch cartoon. The I sense was there. It's just that you were not mature enough to directly look at it. That doesn't mean it was not there. Not really what. It has not increased. It is the same. You remember I said that I am non-duality and duality at the same time. So I do get upset when I see such response. But what I'm really is, it's not changing. If it's not changing even for me, how can it change for a child? It's not intense. It's not intense. You are exaggerating it. Just go close to the eye sense, and you would notice how light it is. The intense is actually your heart palpitation and anxiety and other movements, other sensations, and rushing thoughts. If you sleep for 10 hours or 8 hours and then wake up, then for initial 5-10 minutes, you won't feel that intensity that you're calling. Then you would be feeling the I sense as it is. Then, based on your conditioning, thoughts will come. Then the I tendency or this I sense will get into it. Okay, let's look at this like this. The worst that you can imagine and the best that you can imagine. If both of this happens on the same day, would there be any massive change in your I sense? What you are calling as intense is just the periphery, superficial, more happy, more anxious, all that. Yes, answer. If if you get something that you want and you lost and you lose something that you don't want to, if both of this happens, will there be any massive change in who you are? Whatever it is, just say yes or no so that I can ask different question. That's what I'm saying. That at the superficial plane, at the outer layer, there will be change, of course. Of course. Okay. If something bad happens, then there is anxiety. Now the I sense is actually more attached to anxiety. Now that state won't last for long. Now the eye tendency will have to come back to its original position. Now experiences something good according to you. Now there's happiness. Now even this state won't continue for longer. The eye tendency, the eye sense would have to come back to the its natural state. Is it or not? We you do exist. That existence, that sense of self I'm talking about. The sense of self, the I sense that I do exist. How can I exist and change when you are 5 years old, or 15 years old, or 25 years old, or 35 years old, or 45 years old? You spend 20 years of life living like a peer. You spend 20 next years of your life living like super rich. Will there be any difference, any massive change? Even a slight change on your eye sense that I do exist. Will there be any change? Will there be any change? Superficially, there will be change. Conditioning will get changed. Thoughts, emotions, rest of it will get changed. But this I exist, I am self, I sense, I exist. Please, I sense that I do exist. The I amness. Would it get changed? Would it get changed? You jump from fourth floor. You broke your leg. You are in the hospital. Still, the I sense is the same. Yeah. There is pain, there is regret, there is this, there is that. Apart from all this trivia, there is this I amness. I exist. You win a lottery. And there is the celebration and all the rest of it. But the I exist is still there. No. All else is happening out of this. After this, I exist. How can a person do anything if he's not sure that he exists or not? That's what I'm saying. I sense I amness. That I amness is not the aliveness of the body. The I amness that I exist is actually the aliveness of non-duality. Please understand. If I cut, if I remove one of any of your hand, will there be any change on this I amness? If I remove your leg, one eye, five fingers, do plastic surgery and change your entire body, change your outfit, put some chemicals and manipulate your memory. Will there be any change with this IMS? Now that memory is nothing but conditional. So if I manipulate the memory, then your how you perceive yourself, the ego, the I amness is actually the core. And every child is born with this I amness. Now, depending on his or her environment, he gets conditioned. He or she gets conditioned. This much is logical. Even dumb person can understand. Please understand this much. Anybody who gets conditioned, depending on his or her conditioning, builds a structure around his or her high tendency I sense. If I manipulate that memory, then your self image would change, but whatever new self image you would be carrying now, your I sense would remain the same. Suffering arises when you take the I amness or the I exist of the body as the I amness alone. When you take the I exist or I amness of the non duality as the I amness or I exist of the body. Either say that I don't exist or say that I am all of this. I am all of this. The total, the oneness. Or simply say I don't exist. Either say that I am that point which is known as non duality, from which all this comes out, or simply say that I am total of duality, total of duality. Total of duality is equal to non duality. Even if I say that you don't exist, you know you exist. Who's having this confusion then? When I said that don't either don't exist, don't exist as the specific body mind, the isolated body mind, this personality. If you want to exist in the while identifying with something in duality, then identify with the whole of duality. If not, then simply remain where you are in the non-duality. Why come out? And actually, whatever you do, when you remain who you are, non-duality, or when you identify with the full of duality, it's actually the same thing. No difference. No difference. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is that whatever you are seeing, whatever your experiences, it's you. It's your own manifestation. You are that. You are different in that both. That actually refers to the origin, non-duality, the true self, the point. And I am adding this means all that is present in duality. You are both. But don't say I'm this limited personality, body mind. Then there is just shifting. You wanted to manifest in this way, from this body, from this projection you wanted, from this perception you wanted to see the world. And no need to understand all these concepts. Mind gets confused. You never got confused. See, even when you are confused, your eye sense is the same. And when you were getting everything, when you thanked me, even then your eye sense was untouched, unaffected. That untouched, unaffected. And you know what? Non-duality can never feel gratitude. Gratitude is like final action of ego. And after that, it diminishes forever. Whatever you do, whatever you do, the essence or the origin is untouched. Please acknowledge whether it is clear or not. Let's make it simple. Let's make it simple. Right now, everybody feels that he is in the center of his world or the world. If he is, I am the one I am, I have to do and all that. That What gives weightage or importance or intensity or aliveness to this belief, stupid belief that I'm the doer? It's actually the non-doer. It's actually the non-duality. You don't want to understand, that's why you're not understanding. And that is why somebody keeps insisting on understanding. That's why I'm putting effort because I know that you know.